following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
By tomorrow, I will rule the world!
You think he's gone? He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Is this some radical new therapy?
You see?
Well, I must have not been paying attention when you were just talking to me.
You see that picture that Patricia Valley put up today? Oh my God.
With the pink suit?
No, she's wearing a black suit. Oh my God, she's so beautiful. It's ridiculous. Like, why is she doing politics? She should be on the cover of Cosmo. She should be doing movies with Angelina Jolie.
Got it.
Although the future Mrs. Duggan is looking pretty good too. Did you see her pictures this morning?
I did.
You know
I made the video.
Janilda Santos.
I made the video she posted today.
You made that video?
Yeah.
That's a good video.
Yeah.
Janilda Santos. She's not a sponsor today, though. Maybe we'll get her to sponsor the show
She's your
after
wife.
that.
I mean, your
future wife.
Fiance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we got to meet Jana Zani Pesci's first husband at the
Yes,
debate.
we did. Yes,
right?
we did. What's his name again? His first name?
Jana Zani Pesci's first husband.
Okay.
Vinny. Vinny is his name.
Vinny.
Vinny Pesh. We have
Pesh.
Mr. Pesh. All right. Let's get this show on the road. We got guests in the studio.
Welcome in, everyone. Please like and share.
I gotta say, the mayor of Methuen is here, and he's got a lot of balls for being here. I gotta say that. You gotta give him credit for that. Because he knows he's gonna get the crap kicked out of him today, and he came anyway. And I actually respect that. I gotta be honest with you. I almost feel bad about what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll scale back a little bit. Should I scale back? We got Papa Buzz coming up. Everybody do the Papa Buzz. Manny.
Can I unmute them? Is that okay?
Yeah, of course, for the Papa Buzz. That's a rule. All right. I didn't send you the picture of the crazy woman from the school committee meeting, so I'm going to skip that today. All right, let's get this show. Wait, I got to get my sponsors up so I can get the show on the road. All right, let's get this show on the road. Hi, how you guys doing? My name's Tom Duggan. Here's the Paying Attention podcast high atop the Golden Seal Apothecary here at the NCAM Studios on Main Street in North Andover, right across the street from the plush and luxurious Valley Patriot offices at 75 Main Street is where the Valley Patriot offices is, but where we are today is the NCAM Studios, North Andover Cable Access, and I want to thank Brian and Nick and Bill and everybody at North Andover Cable Access for really putting in. They worked all day on Tuesday to get the set ready for the debate that we did for the Methuen at-large city council race. And I thought that the set looked great, and I know they put a lot of work into it. We're going to give them some free ads in the paper just to help them out a little bit. But I've watched the debate now twice, and intern girl, I know you have two candidates that you liked, and you're thinking about a third. Have you decided on who, if anybody, on your third vote?
Yes.
So you're voting for who? You're voting for Jana?
Do I have to say?
Well, you said it during the debate, so I thought maybe you'd say it now.
Jana, John Drew, and Jim.
And Jim Sassioni.
Yes.
He was impressive.
He was.
I have to say.
He knows. He does his homework.
So
great.
I watched the debate twice afterwards, and what I like to do, especially when I'm reading the Valley Patriot or I'm watching the show, I try to watch it like I'm some guy from Ohio that doesn't know anybody. And I go, okay, if I don't know anybody and I'm just watching this, who did the best? And I'm going to surprise everybody. But I think Frank Cirillo was very impressive.
He did.
Like, I watched that debate and I said, if you don't know anybody, you don't know the personalities, you don't know the politics, and you watch this, Frank Cirillo did a really good job. They all did a really good job, but he was the one that I think surprised a lot of people. Then I checked my emails, and most of the viewers actually agreed. Well, most of the viewers said they were impressed with Frank, that they didn't expect him to do as good as he did.
He stepped in for DJ, correct? I think.
He stepped in.
He did as
What do you mean?
at large. Like he didn't run 2 years.
Oh,
ago.
right, yes, yeah. He took his spot on the
December or
council.
something. Yeah,
right.
there you go.
Yeah. But all the candidates did well. Jana Zani Pesci did well. We had a lot of comments about her pearl-studded Yeti cup that she had on the people seemed
She did really well. She came back with receipts, and that was.
She did well. I have to say, I was very unimpressed with all of their answers on the schools.
Me too.
Very unimpressed with all of that.
No solutions.
So I asked, and we're going to get to it, I guess, in a second, but I asked, during the debate, do we not hold the teachers responsible for the fact that kids can't read at grade level, can't do math at grade level? aren't getting into four-year colleges. The kids that do get into four-year colleges, 80% of them drop out within the first year and a half. Do we blame the teachers for any of that? And the universal answer among all 6 of them was no. No, it's the state's fault. The too many regulations and discipline in the classroom. How about the parents, Tom? How come the parents should be doing more? Not one. They're all so afraid of the friggin' teachers union. They're all so up the ass of the teachers union that even the ones, well, except for Jim Saucione, did stray from.
Yeah, he was.
He did, yes.
But he didn't get endorsed.
He didn't get endorsed by them, no. But and I kept introducing Ryan DeZoglio as the teachers union endorsed candidate.
You guys were picking on him
because, well, we had to pick on him. It's Ryan DeZoglio. It's kind of it's like a rule, right? I mean, come on.
I felt so bad for the guy.
No, he did well. They all did well. I'm not saying
he's a likable
there wasn't
guy.
one candidate that didn't do well. Juan DeSantis did well. They all did well. But I think that the guy that shined the most, if you're not someone who knows the players or the politics, was Frank. I think he did really well.
Yeah, he did.
John Drew, I think, also. I hated almost every single answer that he gave, but I thought he was very professional.
But at least he said the truth of what he believed.
Well, yeah, he was honest, and that's what we want.
Regardless of what anyone thinks.
I think the average Methuen voter does not agree with me on most things. So the average Methuen voter is going to like what John Drew had to say.
I like that he's a plumber, to be honest.
Really? Yeah?
I respect.
He's a really good-looking guy. He's going to get votes. Good-looking people do better in elections than non-good-looking people. I say this all the time. And in a brainwashed society, nobody wants, let's lookism and all this other crap. But you know what? The fact is, it's true. A good-looking candidate will always do better, all things being equal, than a non-good-looking candidate, right? John F. Kennedy ran against Richard Nixon. On the radio, everybody said Nixon won. On TV, what did everybody say? Kennedy won because he was better looking. They were more attracted to listening to him. Anyways, we got to blow through this. Let's thank our sponsor, Century 21 McLennan Real Estate, the Zany Pesh Law Office, Marsan & Son Construction, EIS, Investigation and Gun Training, Tomo and Shake and Seafood, where I think the future Mrs. Duggan and I are having dinner tonight. Clear Path for
Without
Veterans.
Me?
You could come if you want, but
I don't want to.
Be kind of a weird date with you there. But you could come if you want.
I'm like your daughter. Like I'll be.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true. But do you like? No, I'm not going to get into it. Clear Path for Veterans New England, AFC Urgent Care. We haven't heard from Zaka in a while. We got to get him back in on the show. Zaka he's a really interesting guy. The guy that owns AFC Urgent Care. He's an immigrant from Pakistan, right? And
is that who you called when you got arrested? Wasn't it?
What's that?
Wasn't it him that you called when you got arrested? Such a random call. Such a random call. Is that the only number you remember from all your sponsors?
I called Lisa Williams.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why we're now friends with Zaka. Pleasant Valley Landscaping Contractors, Prime Insurance, the Doug Mercurio Law. He posted something really funny the other day, and I can't remember what it was, but it was hilarious. It was Tom Duggan level hilarious. Enterprise Bank is now Rockland Trust, and I didn't bring my cup in, but I'll have it next week. W3ON, 4-Star Lighting, Stadium Chiropractic, a free shout-out to JG's Ice Cream, because I love those guys, and candidates Ryan DeZoglio for City Council, Juan DeSantis for City Council, John Drew and Frank Cirillo for City Council, Jim Saucione for City Council, Gina, Zany, Pesci, they're all at large, and our buddy for School Committee in Lawrence.
Luis Robles.
Say it again, that's so sexy.
Luis Robles.
Oh, my God.
Lawrence.
One more time.
School Committee. Luis Robles.
Oh, my God. That's the end of the show, folks. I can't recover from that. Yeah. It's going to take me an hour to get up now. All right. And on-the-go notary. And we always forget. And I don't want to forget it because she's awesome. We're going to have lunch next week. Marie Thibodeau from Total Mortgage. If you need a mortgage, she's the person to call, Total Mortgage. All right. Well, real quick. Let's get to a couple of real quick things. SNAP benefits. Everybody's.
Yes.
I'm hearing all this crap on Facebook. Please, people, do your homework. All I'm going to ask, do your homework. Put down the remote control and step away from MSNBC and CNN, okay?
Or your phone.
Even CNN is starting to admit that it's the Democrats' fault, but you can't vote 13 times not to open the government and then blame the Republicans. Yeah. And they pulled a little stunt this morning where they all so-called randomly showed up for work at the Senate building and went, where are the Republicans? They're not here to do their job. We're here to open the government. But if the Republicans showed up, they'd still all be fucking voting no. All right? So let's stop with the lies, please. I know if you're a Democrat, you want your Democrats to be the good guys, But on this one, I'm on SNAP benefits because I don't pay myself anything for this newspaper. All the money I make on this paper goes back into the paper. I'm on SNAP benefits. My benefits are going to be cut, and my benefits are going to be cut because of Elizabeth Warren and Ed Markey, not because of Donald Trump. If the Democrats vote right now to open the government is open.
But I'm going to disagree with you a little there because I feel like as the president, he should have more of a leadership and know how to give and take.
But he has no.
Should he be able to compromise?
But he has no say.
That's politics. I know, but the Senate, the majority is what? Democrats, is it?
No, the majority are Republicans. But so only in Congress can you have a majority and still lose.
Okay.
So in Congress, there's 100 senators, but you need 60 to get a budget passed. We don't have 60 Republicans. All the Democrats, except for I think one, voted against it.
He should be able to compromise.
But it's not about. But the president has no say.
He just gave a bunch of billions to Argentina. What was the point of that?
Because that was already allocated from the last budget, right?
I feel like he should be able to compromise.
But it's the Senate. It has nothing to do with the president. The president could promise them all everything that they want.
Yeah, but the Republicans in Congress
but what do they want?
Going to follow his
They want
leadership.
health care for illegal aliens. That's what they want, and he's not going to give them that.
True.
They know he's not going to give them that. So. Anyways, and I had one other thing. We did the debate. We're going to talk about Heather Plunkett after the election.
Okay.
She's the crazy lady that got up at open mic night during the school committee meeting.
Pressured man.
And a pressured man is going to be on the job. We're going to take care of that. Let's see. School committee meeting open. Let me see. We get that done,
Trick-or-treating tomorrow, Methuen and Lawrence.
Yes, and by the way,
7.
TMF. I'm just going to make a quick pitch for TMF. Then we're going to introduce our guest. TMF, last night, we had over 300 people show up to be fed because of what's going on with the SNAP benefits, with the state government spending $1 billion effing dollars on illegal aliens.
A year.
While we know it's more than $1 billion, but I'm just being generous. $1 billion on illegal aliens, but now we have no money for SNAP. Gee, I wonder why that is. I mean, why is there no money for SNAP after we spent $1 billion on people who aren't supposed to be? Wonder why that is. Well, we're not getting any help from the state. We're not getting any help from the federal government. We get no help from the city, except they let us use the building. And TMF is out there now every night bringing food not just to people in tents, but now people who actually have homes but have no food. And so if you'd like to help TMF, please reach out to me through Facebook. Please reach out to Mike Gorman. Please reach out to Nancy or Lindsay Gorman or Jill Stacklin, because she loves it when you call her, because then she gets to take credit when she gets to come up with other food, and then she takes credit like she did it. It's awesome. And she'll come in and, you need to thank me. You should be thanking me. I'm so awesome.
Is that a jab?
No, it is a jab.
Sorry, Jill.
I'm just having fun with Jill because everybody knows what great friends we are. All right, to my left, to your right, is Juan Manny Gonzalez, candidate, hero firefighter, and candidate for mayor of Lawrence. And to his left is DJ Beauregard, fresh from Romper Room. He's here. He took time out of kindergarten to be here with us today, and he actually is not offended when I make fun of his age because I'm very old and he's 12. So you're not really 12. Like, what is your actual age, if you don't mind me asking?
36.
You're 36?
Yeah.
I can't call him 12 anymore. I thought he was like
He's older
30.
than me.
I thought he was actually like 26 to 30. Wow. So I've known you for 21 years? Holy shit. All right, well, so let's let DJ in on this because he has to leave early. For some reason, there's something more important than my show, and he has to leave. By the way, what is more important than my show that you have to leave?
So at 3 o'clock every Thursday, we have our meeting of my human trafficking task force to continue to keep up the fight against human trafficking in our city. So we'll have that today at 3.
All right. So why don't you start off? You're
That's
on the.
important.
Yeah, I'm not giving him a hard time on it. If it was anything else, I probably would be, though. He's doing a good job on human trafficking. You're on the ballot, but you really have no competition, right? So there's a woman.
Yeah.
No, you don't. No, you don't. She's going to get like 4% of the vote, right?
I don't think so, no. Here's the thing. I think that if you look at Methuen city elections, there's, over the past couple of cycles, there's been roughly 30% of the city that generally, they'll probably look at alternatives who are not involved in politics. So I can see, a good 30, 40% voting.
No, it won't be 40. So there's 30%. When we had the revolution, 30% of the colonists sided with England. And World War I and World War II, 30% of Americans sided with the other side. And right now it's tipping. You've got almost 50% of the country hating our own president so much that they side with drug cartels. But usually it's a third. Like, no matter what conflict you're looking at, you've always got 1/3 that's for it, 1/3 that's against it, and then 1/3 that doesn't give a damn. And those are the people that everyone's always trying to convince to come to their side to make a difference. But I don't see Barbara Stobel getting 30%. I think it's probably going to be a little bit less. She spoke at the No Kings rally. She's a left-wing crazy. And she hasn't campaigned. Nobody even knows she's on the ballot. I read a newspaper and a podcast. She's never once reached out to me. If I'd known she was going to be speaking at the No Kings rally, I would have gone and covered it just so people knew who she was.
Well, keep in mind, too, that I view myself, I'm generally speaking, a middle-of-the-road centrist type. And so, I think there's folks on both sides who might wish that I were a little further one way or another. But, at the end of the day, my job as mayor, any mayor's job, is to be a representative of all the people in the community.
I'm just happy you're not a far left-wing lunatic like Sharon Paul. That's all I care about, is that you're not checking all the Democrat boxes. So if you're not on the right side, I'm okay with that. If you're not on the side of the conservative Republicans, I'm okay with that. As long as you're not checking all the boxes on the other side. I respect anybody who's not on either side.
Well, so I think, you and I probably will disagree on some issues.
We disagree on a lot of issues.
Right out of the gate, I'm not in favor of that conversation about the banning of certain books. I think that's something that is...
No, let's get into that since you're here.
Well,
let's get into
the other
that.
thing, too, is that, when I look at folks who are members of the LGBT community, if anyone wants to go after the LGBT community, including...
What does that mean?
Trans
go
kids,
after them.
they're going to have to come through me.
What does that mean, go after them? What does that mean? We're going to beat them up?
Well, so the issue is that, we have this situation in our country where I think that there is an active effort to try to pull back some of the civil rights of many people.
Well, they have the same civil rights as everyone else.
Yeah, and we just have to fight against that. And I think that it's important that we, just continue.
But I need to get to the language, because the language is very important. What do you mean? Because somebody said it at the microphone at the school committee meeting the other night, and it sounded kind of silly. What do you mean by go after them?
So the thing about it is that, you look at society today, and society is full of bullies. And you look at these more marginalized communities, folks who are going after trans kids, for instance.
But what does that mean, go after them? That's what I'm trying to get to.
Well,
because if you disagree with a boy going into a girl's bathroom, that's not going after them.
Well, so I
but
think...
that's portrayed as going after them, and that's why I'm trying to get you to just be succinct.
I think it's just important for us to remember that every single human being, every single student in our schools, every single person in our society has dignity and ought to be respected.
That's not an answer, though, with all due respect.
Well, that's my answer.
But what does it mean to go after them? Because saying that I don't want a boy going in my girl's bathroom and invading her privacy, or taking a shower in school after a sports team, or playing on a girl's sports team, is not going after them, and it's being portrayed as going after them. So I want to make sure what you're saying is clear to the audience.
Well, I think it's important.
What do you mean by going after them?
I'll answer.
Okay.
So when it comes to the bathroom issue, I think it's important for school districts to follow the law. Ultimately, following the law, ensuring the dignity of all people in our schools, but at the same time following the law. When it comes to...
What law is that?
So there are state laws that govern, the bathroom situation, for instance. It's important for every district to follow the law. The other thing, too, when it comes to the issue of books, I'll say this. I think that when I was in high school, I read Catcher in the Rye. I read Macbeth. And I think it's important that we teach kids not what to think, but how to think. And I think we spend way too much time talking about bathrooms, and we need to, as Rahm Emanuel often talks about, and I mentioned this in a column a couple of months ago, it's really important for us to focus on the classroom, right? We need to focus more on, reading scores, on literacy. We're having that conversation in the city now overall. And the other thing, too, that I think that we need to get back at is trying to embrace more civility, getting back to a more kind and empathetic form of politics. And I don't think that we have that in our country now. And I think it's important for us at the local level to really set the example.
Is it civil when you accuse someone of going after people for having a different opinion? Is that civil? Or getting up at a school committee meeting and saying, I'm not a bully, and then by name bullying every person at the table who's friends with someone? Like, is it civil to say you're filled with hate because you don't want a boy going in the girls' bathroom? Is that civil? Is that, because you keep skirting around without saying it, and I'm trying to get you to be succinct. When you say follow the law, you mean let boys go into girls' bathrooms, is what you're saying.
I didn't say that.
So what are you saying?
So what I'm saying is that when it comes to that conversation about, say, going after somebody, I think that we need to not cast aspersions on people's motives. I think right out of the gate, when you're basing a conversation off of that, you're in trouble as a society. And so,
that's why I keep asking questions.
Yeah. I'll if I can answer. So something that I addressed in a prior column too was the conversation about sports, right? You're seeing now people across the country addressing this issue where, the issue of, say, biological males playing in girls' sports, that's a conversation, I think, about basic fairness, right? Where you have female athletes already at a disadvantage when it comes to the world of athletics. And so I think it's important for us to analyze these things in the context of fairness, in the context of basic dignity. And so I think that that's an important conversation. But when it comes to...
That was cute, but you didn't take a position on it, though.
I do take a clear
what's your
position on that. I think that it is important for us to, while maintaining the dignity and the rights of all, we need to... Would you stop laughing?
I'm laughing because you won't answer the question directly.
I am answering the
question. You're going around the world.
I'm not going around.
Okay.
So the point that I'm trying to make is that it's important for us as a society to understand that there are people who think and live differently than perhaps we do. And I think that it's important in a country like ours to ensure that our conversations are grounded in basic civility, kindness, empathy. I'll say this. Earlier this year, there were attacks on Laurie Keegan and her family, and Dan Shabilian and his family,
By
and
who?
all these folks. By you, Tom.
I attacked her family.
Yes.
How did I attack her family?
In the paper, I thought that there were, and also on the podcast, there were many instances where there were these attacks on family members, and I think that
I never attacked her family. So be specific. What did I specifically say that attacked her family? I attacked her position on boys going into girls' bathrooms. I attacked her position on boys playing on girls' teams. I attacked her position on lying about it, which is actually how the column came about.
I don't think that ever happened.
What do you mean? It happened in writing.
I'm not going to get into that. But what I'm trying to say is that it's important for us to get back to basic civility in our
How can we be civil when you're literally accusing me of something that never happened?
I'm not.
That's not civil.
I'm not accusing you of something that never happened. I'm going back and I'm recalling what was printed and what was said.
I never once mentioned her family in my column. Never once. She has a transgender kid. I never once mentioned it. I'm going to mention it now because you're bringing it up. Because you're accusing me of doing something I didn't do.
I'm not accusing you of anything.
You said I attacked her family. I never once mentioned her family.
The issue, Tom, is the tone. It's the tone of our politics.
The tone is she supports boys going into girls' bathrooms. She supports boys playing on girls' sports, and she pretends that she doesn't. And when I called her out on Facebook, she lied about it. That was the issue. It wasn't about her family. I never once mentioned her family. Never once in that column did I mention her family until she and you and others accused me of mentioning her family. And then people are calling saying, what's this thing about the family? So I had to say, she's got a transgender child. Because now, just like with Dan Shabilia crying that I attacked his family, I never attacked his family. I attacked him for selling his vote. That's what I attacked him on. So if people want to attack me or you want to take me to task, and I'm okay with that, for something I actually did, we can have that conversation 7 days a week. But to mischaracterize it, to put yourself in a better moral position, put me in a worse moral position, that I attacked their family. I never once attacked Dan Shabilia's family. And I never once attacked Laurie Keegan's family. I did attack Dan, and I did attack Laurie because of the dishonesty. And had Laurie come on my Facebook page when I revealed what her position was on boys going into girls' bathroom and reading passages about masturbation and anal sex, which you also support, had she come on and said, yeah, you're right, that's my position, let's have a conversation about it, I would have respected her in that column, never would have been written.
So that's a mischaracterization of my position because I think that when it comes to anything like that's sensitive in terms of content, it's important to involve parents. At the end of the day, we need to ultimately include parents. And here's the thing, in the city of Methuen's public school district, there are alternative assignments for individuals who don't want to take part in
If they know.
Well, so here's
but this particular parent was never told.
This gets to a point that I think that we need to do a better job at, and this is something I'm talking with Ken Willett about. about having, and actually the whole committee, we had this discussion in open session, about having a system by which we inform parents about what their rights as parents are, the ability to know what their child is learning in school. I am in favor of that. I think we need to have parental involvement. But at the same time, this isn't Iran. This isn't North Korea. This is the United States of America. It's 2025. It's not 1625. And so I think that it's important for us to focus on teaching our children, not dictating to them what they should be thinking, but how to think. And the way that we do that is by having these opportunities for folks to learn. I am not in favor of pornography in schools. That's insane.
But you did at the meeting. You said that's how it started. We're banning books.
So
we're not banning
that's
books.
A mischaracterization of my position as well. The point that I was making, Tom, was that across the country there are these books. For instance, the book that we're referring to, which has a reference to sexuality, okay? But here's the thing. It's been banned in districts across the country. And the issue is that it all starts somewhere.
Do you have
that
printout that I sent you from 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, give me a second.
Okay, go ahead, DJ. I'm sorry.
So it all starts with the challenge. It starts with this conversation. And that's the point that I was trying to make.
And I'm glad, by the way, that you're here to have the conversation because it's a tough conversation to have, right? We have very diametrically opposed views. And the fact that you're here, it shows a lot of courage.
But I think there's more common ground on these issues than we otherwise think by having this conversation. I think that there is common ground.
My problem
is not, Tom,
sorry,
let me finish. So I think there is common ground from the standpoint of ensuring that parents are in the loop. Parents should be in the loop, okay? Catcher in the Rye. I remember reading that in high school, as I mentioned.
Yeah, but there's no passages about anal sex and Catcher in the Rye.
Well, but there's sensitive content. There's sensitive content in a lot of things.
That's subjective.
So, but here's the point, Tom. I think that we agree on the idea of looping parents in. I think that we disagree, perhaps, on our perception of, say, specific content. And that's something that we can debate all day long, right? But at the end of the day, it's important to have a balance. With everything in life and society, we need to have a balance. We need to be able to have difficult conversations. We need to trust our teachers. We're going to disagree on that. I trust our teachers. I think it's important for us to do that. I'm not a teacher.
I see on the news every single day a teacher or a coach or a janitor in a school being arrested and charged with either sexually molesting or raping students.
Which is terrible. They should be fired. They should be thrown in jail.
So when you say we want to trust these people, look, these people, we may know them by name because we know our kids' teachers, we know our kids, but just because we know them by name and they're teachers, that doesn't make them good people automatically. We shouldn't ever trust. We shouldn't trust cops. We shouldn't trust firefighters. We shouldn't trust teachers. They're strangers with our children.
Well, the thing that it's this now, I disagree, Tom, because we have to, as a society, respect our cops. We have to respect our firefighters. We have to respect the people
but not
who
trust
serve
them.
our country in the military. We should respect our teachers. I remember all of my teachers by name. And I respect them.
But we had a teacher get up at a school committee meeting, Mrs. McLeod, or Ms. McLeod, I don't know if she's married, get up at a school committee meeting and said she's proud that she read that book out loud to her class that had the N-word in it.
Krista
she's
McLeod,
a white teacher reading the N-word out loud.
She's the director of the Nevins Library. She is not a teacher.
Okay.
And she is a master class, mind you, in the administration of
I'm
the
sure
Nevins
she's a master class on
fantastic.
masturbation, too, because that's what she pushed on the kids. But
she's not a teacher.
But when she comes out and she
runs
says,
a library.
You said that 4 times now.
Because
Why don't you say it again? Say it again, and then I'll finish my sentence.
Because you're saying she's a teacher.
But you've already corrected me 4 times.
But you keep saying that.
But say it one more so that we don't have to say it again, so I can finish my sentence, and then we'll go back. Okay. She gets up at the microphone and she said, and it's very manipulative, if you're uncomfortable with this kind of thing, which this kind of thing means descriptions of masturbation and reading out loud the N-word and anal sex, if you're uncomfortable, maybe we should have a conversation with the students about why they're uncomfortable with it. In other words, there's something wrong with you if you're uncomfortable with that. And by the way, that's the attitude of most of the teachers that support this. It's certainly the attitude of the school board members that supported this. And it's certainly the attitude of the parents, and the community members that get up at public participation. And so I don't want kids in any community reading that trash in class. If their parents are okay with it, then I'm for parents' rights. If Dan Shabilia wants his kid to read that stuff in class out loud, the N-word I still have a hard time with, but fine if the parents are okay with it. But let's come to the middle, DJ. Mayor. I'm sorry. I should stop calling you DJ.
Call me DJ. It's
yeah,
fine.
but you were in the title. Let's come to the middle. You say that the parent should be involved. The parent should have a say. So then let's come to the middle and say, let's get rid of the policy that says, unless it's the totality of the material, we don't notify the parents. So that's what the superintendent said during that meeting. She said, because the parent wanted to know why she wasn't notified, and she said, well, that's only 2 pages, 2 or 3 pages in an entire book. And our policy is we notify the parents if the totality of the material is sexual. But if there's 1 or 2 passages, not so much. So why don't we change the policy? Guys like me will go away. I still won't be happy about it, but I don't have kids in Methuen school, so I'll go away. I'm happy with the parents making that decision and say that whether it's the totality of the material or not, if there's graphic sexual descriptions in a piece of literature, the parents should have a say whether or not the kids get to consume that literature. And I'll say, you know what? Whether it's totality or not, there's 3 pages in a book that graphically describe masturbation that's being read by kids in a school. And if the parents know about it and they're okay about it, you got no problem with me.
So this is exactly why I'm going here, and this is why I'm bringing this up, because I think that there's an opportunity for us, and this isn't just in this context. It's across the entire United States of America. There's an opportunity for us to take a viewpoint here, a viewpoint there, and find ways where we can meet in the middle and have a reasonable discussion, a reasonable, practical solution that doesn't have to be ideological. And that's
But that was a lot of words to
the point.
not answer my question. How about we all come to the middle and agree that we do away with the totality of the material and just tell the parents anytime that we're going to be talking about sex in any kind of literature in school and give them the option.
That's something that we can discuss.
Okay, so it's not a yes or a no, but it's definitely not a no, right? One more thing, and I know you have to go, and it's 2:43, and I want to let you go. Dave Idconsoli from Pleasant Valley Landscaping Contractors, who I think I left out of the list of sponsors today, said that he's having I wish I had it in front of me. I'm sorry, Dave Idconsoli.
Old Ferry Road.
Yeah, but he also had a problem with, I guess he went down for something and his business permit had expired. So now they're telling him that he has to reapply for a business license rather than just having it renewed. He has to go through the original process all over again. And he said, everybody runs for office saying that they're business friendly. Everybody wants to bring in new businesses, but nobody seems to give a damn about the businesses that are already here. So if you could address that, and I'm sorry, David, for bastardizing your question. I just didn't have it in front of me.
So if it's an existing business certificate, it's something that should simply be, there's a renewal process for that, and it's pretty straightforward. I'll have to get an answer as to why he's having some trouble, but it is designed to be a relatively straightforward process when it comes to business licensure.
Why'd you endorse this guy?
Because he's a great man. He's a hero firefighter. And I think Lawrence could use a breath of fresh air, and I think that's why he's going to do very well.
He could put his mic on. Poor Manny's sitting here through all of this, and we're fighting over
Sorry,
him.
Manny.
The things are lobbying over. Listen, I know you have to be somewhere at 2:45. Do you have anything else you want to say to the public before we let you go? I know you're on the ballot Tuesday, and you've endorsed some candidates, and maybe you have somebody else you want to endorse today before you leave. I'm going to give you that opportunity.
So, I think what we need to do as a community is we need to continue having difficult conversations. I think that we need to continue to work together to find the middle ground on some of these controversial issues. And ultimately what we need to do is we need to continue the work of building a better community, whether it is by way of taking steps to lower the cost of living, to address the issue. For instance, we tackle the issue of human trafficking in less than a week in the city, which
you're doing a great job on that, and so is Chief McNamara.
Chief Mac has been great. Kaylee Teagan-Johnpak has been essential, and so we have a great.
I'm sorry, what was that name?
Her name's Kaylee Teagan-Johnpak. She's the director of Health Human Services.
I did not know her.
She's fantastic. Okay. And so ultimately, we have a lot of different things that we're tackling right now. We have this issue where we're trying to get after this food drive to help folks. And so, by the way, visit methuen.gov/food if you want information about the donation drop-off opportunities, but also the distribution details for this Saturday.
And thank you for not blaming the Republicans and playing into the propaganda. I appreciate that.
I don't think that's a political issue. It's a human issue. And ultimately, if the federal government can't get their act together, I'm not going to, get into that. But if the feds can't do it, it's up to local communities to step up and fill that void.
And you're someone who has helped TMF in the past.
Yes.
You're not somebody that like comes and brings food and does a selfie while you're doing it to get credit. So I want to give you credit for that. We disagree on some very fundamental things, and we're going to fight for a long time on those things. I'm very unhappy about something else that we're going to talk about after the election. However, I'm very 50-50 on DJ. People email me all the time and say, Tom, I'm very confused. One day you're on Facebook and you're kicking the crap out of this guy, and the next day you're extolling him like he's the greatest thing in the community. I don't get it. And here's the thing. I don't get it either. Because 50% of the time I look at what DJ Beauregard as the mayor of Methuen does, and I go, holy crap, he's so friggin' right on spot. He's right spot on. He's right on target. He's exactly doing what needs to be done. And then the other 50% of the time I shake my head and say, who the hell is this guy? Especially with the book stuff, calling it book banning, wanting age-appropriate material in schools, not book banning, and calling it book banning.
I support that, Tom. That I think is a mischaracterization of my position. We agree on more than you think.
Well, maybe because you are using politically loaded terms like book banning. Nobody proposed book banning. Kristen Maxwell didn't propose it. I'm a First Amendment absolutist. I've lost tens of thousands of dollars fighting First Amendment cases in court. I've gone to jail, as you know, for my First Amendment. I've won a First Amendment case in New Hampshire Supreme Court and Massachusetts Supreme Court. I think I'm the only journalist in New England that's done that. I am not for banning any book ever, but not allowing an age-inappropriate book into a classroom is not book banning. Book banning is you can't get it at the library, you can't get it in school, you can't get it at Barnes & Noble, you can't download it online. The government banned the book. That's book banning. And by people using that term book banning, I think is where the problem is. If we got away from that kind of rhetoric and we just talked about what the actual issue is, which was the parent just wanted to be notified, right?
Absolutely.
And I
think we need to continue to do that.
And if we change the policy from the totality of the material to any sexual material, I think everybody in the middle would be happy. Like, we'd all be unhappy partially, but I think we'd be happy. Final words?
I think I just hope everyone gets out and vote on Tuesday, and it's important for us to be involved in this process. And I worry about municipal elections. The turnout always goes down compared to, say, a presidential election. I just encourage everybody, please get out and vote.
Yeah, vote Tuesday, November 4th. And you don't have an endorsement? You want an extra endorsement today that you want to do before you leave?
Here to talk about myself and what I'm doing for the city and what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, I appreciate you being here. Very tough interview, but you came anyway. You knew it was going to be tough, and you came anyway. And I give you a lot of credit for that. That took a lot of courage.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me, and best of luck, Manny.
Thank you so much.
All right. Let's thank our sponsors again as we get ready for Juan Manny Gonzalez. Century 21 McLennan Real Estate. DJ, that was one of the most spirited debates we've had in a long time. I really like that, even though I kind of got my ass kicked a little bit. Century 21 McLennan Real Estate, the Zanny Pesh Law Office. Did you hear it during the debate? Tom, it's not Pescherino. It's not Pesce. It's not Peshu. It's Pesci. It's Pesh. Pesh. It's not Pesci. Marston & Son Construction, EIS, Investigation and Gun Training, Tomo and Shaken Seafood, Clear Path for Veterans New England, AFC Urgent Care, Pleasant Valley Landscaping Contractors, Total Mortgage, Prime Insurance, the Doug Mercurio Law Office, and a free shout-out to my buddy Paul Lambert and JG's Ice Cream, as well as a paid sponsorship by Ryan DeZoglio. All of these are candidates at large for Methuen. Ryan DeZoglio, Wanda Santos. By the way, I forgot to read John Drew. We have John Drew with the intern girl cam today, which we should have had during DJ, and I screwed that up. Maybe we can insert it in. There's a.
Can you push in a little bit while I have
me to
my
push?
camera?
We have me to push in. Look,
Yes.
you can see Alejandro in the background. He's so cute.
You can?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's,
really?
he's so adorable.
Yeah, John Drew.
John Drew, our intern girl camp sponsor for the day. And if, by the way, after the election you want to sponsor the intern girl cam, it's very inexpensive. It's $400 for the month. I mean, really, is that not the best advertising anybody's ever had in their
Yes, I
life?
like that it's fun,
oh
too.
my God, I wish we had done that when DJ was here. He would have fallen off of his chair. What did you think? Very spirited.
Yes.
I didn't like the dishonesty. That's the only thing I don't like. But other than that, I thought
he sticks to what he believes in, right?
well, but
Not important.
just be honest. Don't accuse me of attacking someone's family when I didn't attack their family.
I didn't even know that about their
Listen,
kid.
if I had attacked her family, I would have been okay with what he said.
Yeah.
And if I had, I didn't attack
The child.
Dan
right?
Shabilia's
Well, his
family.
wife went on your feed, and she was writing.
Well,
all
this
these
is the
things, right?
thing. So you put your wife up at public participation to attack me personally by name. And then when I attack her back, I'm attacking someone's family? No, I'm attacking the person that attacked me. But I never attacked his children, which is what he said on Facebook. Dan Shabilia went on Facebook and said I attacked his children. Here's what I said. I said, Dan Shabilia campaigned against Brandy Kwong, the superintendent. He got in and hated Brandy Kwong. He voted no on everything she wanted until all of a sudden his son went to the Marsh school. And then suddenly he's not only voting for everything that she wants, like Jim McCarty, not only voting for everything that she wants, but all of a sudden she's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Everything she says is wonderful. That's what I said. That's not attacking his child. That's attacking him for selling his vote. But see, he can't defend himself for selling his vote, so he has to change the topic and make it about his child, because that's the only way he can make his moral position here and my moral position here. Same thing with, and we are going to get to you, I promise. Same thing with Laurie Keegan, who I never once in my story, and it's on my Facebook page, I'm going to post it again today, about Laurie Keegan's position on boys going into girls' bathrooms, boys playing in girls' sports, reading pornographic material, which DJ says is not pornographic. When you're reading out loud passages about anal sex and masturbation in a school, that's pornographic. I'm sorry, it is. And so had Laurie Keegan come on my page when I first blew this out on my page without writing a story, had she not come on my page and said that's a lie, if she had come on my page and said, yes, you're right, Tom, that's where I stand, let's have a conversation about it, she would have been sitting in this chair the following week, and we would have been having a respectful conversation about why we disagree. But instead, she went on my page and said, that's a lie. It's an outright lie. You've never even spoken to me. She said, well, I don't need to speak to you. I know every person you talk to in that school. Every time you talk to somebody in the school department about curriculum, about these types of issues, someone calls me and tells me about your conversation. I don't need to call you. I know everything that's going on in those schools. As I've proven, I know everything that's going on in those schools. So I never once attacked her family. So my problem is the dishonesty. If she thinks that boys should go in girls' bathrooms, that's something we can discuss. But if she believes it and pretends she doesn't believe it because she doesn't want to lose votes, and then calls me a liar when I have proof that she believes it, that's a column in the Valley Patriot 7 days a week, right? And so I don't like this. I don't like this dishonesty. Speaking of elections and stuff, there's just no easy way to transition from that to this. So we'll just do it as awkwardly as we can. Wow, what a controversial race we've got going on in Lawrence, Mr. Juan Manny Gonzalez. First of all, thank you for being my friend for so many years. 30 years now?
Probably longer than that.
Probably longer than 30. I was your first ever radio interview when you ran for mayor back in
2013.
2013. In fact, I think the first time you came on my radio show
Golf course.
was on the golf course in Chelmsford.
Yep.
I got fired that day, by the way.
For interviewing me.
For interviewing you, yeah.
That's good.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, I was doing radio on WCAP.
Where is that?
In Lowell. Okay. So I was in Lowell for 18 years doing WCAP, doing my show.
Were you a contractor or were you like an employee
I was buying the time.
So you were a contract? Yeah.
Yeah, so I was buying the time. So the agreement was, and this is why I left radio. The agreement was, I will bring in advertising and split the ad revenue that I bring in with you. And you get to keep all the ad revenue that you sell on my show. However, when I turn that microphone on, it's my show. No one tells me who to have on. No one tells me what I can say or what I have to say, and nobody tells me what I can't say. And the owners of that station violated that policy every flipping week. They would come in and yell at me, you yelled at Elizabeth Warren, and she got my kid a job at Comedy Central. And then the next thing I know, I was fired for another 2 weeks till their ratings tanked and their revenue dried up. And then they were on the phone going, what do we have to do to get you back? And my answer was always the same. It was always the same. It's the same as it was with DJ Beauregard. When you give your word, you keep your word. DJ Beauregard gave me his word that he was going to endorse Patricia Valley. He gave his word. And in fact, what he said to me was, and I didn't want to do it while he was here because I didn't want to ambush him on it. But what he said to me was, if you endorse Mike Samad, I'll endorse Patricia Valley. Well, I hate Mike Samad. I would never want to endorse Mike Samad for anything ever. But Dan Shabili is worse. At least Mike Samad knows how to do the job. So I said, okay, as much as I don't want to, I'm going to endorse Mike Samad. And I did endorse Mike Samad. And then I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and DJ never kept his word. So the same thing with the radio stations. So one Manny Gonzalez comes onto my show. We're live at the Chelmsford golf course, I think. I don't know what it was called. And we're in the middle of the interview, and he dumps me into commercial and says, this is your last show. Because I dared to have one Manny Gonzalez on my show. And I said, listen,
What was wrong with that?
if I'm going to get fired for having somebody on the show, I'm glad it's Juan Manny Gonzalez, right?
Yes, sir.
So talk to me about this election. You are in the middle of one of the most heated Lawrence. All Lawrence elections are heated. A very passionate electorate in Lawrence. But you're in a very heated race with the current mayor. You're both friends of mine. I've taken no sides this year, although I get accused of it every day. You're running against a very popular Mayor Brian DePina, who has, I think in a lot of people's eyes, done a decent job as mayor, and that's perfect. He's certainly made a lot of mistakes. How do you go up against a guy who's been mayor for 4 years, who is well-liked by a lot of people, obviously not everyone, and who's got a pretty decent track record as far as construction, as far as trying to get the schools back, as far as public safety, although we've got some issues with public safety for sure. How do you go about building a campaign against somebody who's actually in the job every day?
I tell you what, it's not easy. It's not easy, but what makes it easy for me is that it's not a personal vendetta, and so it's not me running against Brian DePina. I'm running for the seat. I don't agree with how things are going. Mm-hmm. I'm approaching retirement age and retirement time-wise on the department.
You got grandkids, right?
I got grandkids.
How old are they?
5, 4, and it's going to be 3.
And you want to take time away from them to do this?
It's a family sacrifice.
Holy good God.
That was the first thing that you have to clear. Can I do this? Can I sacrifice my family? Is my family on board to actually go through this journey? It's definitely, it takes a toll on them. I watch other people go through it. So it's really personal. So you shouldn't do this just because of a personal vendetta against anybody, because if you do that to your family because of somebody that you don't like, then that's a problem.
I know when you got into this race, it was not because you hated Brian. Now, I know a lot of people support you because they hate Brian, but I know that you don't have a hateful bone in your body. I've known you for a very long time. We've been friends for a very long time. And I know for a fact that when you got into this race, it was because you thought you could just do a better job.
100%.
So how will you do the job better, or how will you do the job differently than the current mayor?
I truly believe that you just got to involve the voters, the taxpayers, do things with everything you do with a strategic plan, Tom, so that if you're going to build a school, plan for parking for the school so you avoid headaches for the teachers and for the neighborhoods where the school is built. So basically bring the city together. That's why I'm running with One Lawrence, right? One Lawrence where everybody gets included. Not like the advertisement that I read a minute ago.
Oh, yeah, can we show that? Let's show the, oh, no, we'll do it at the end. We'll do it at the end. I don't want to
yeah, so what I'm
you've
saying
sat
is
here for so long.
I'm running for the whole city where everybody feels included, so that when you got to make tough decisions, sometimes people flinch, but they accept it a little bit better because you brought them to the table and you let them know what the intentions were and why you were doing it. If I have to increase taxes, why are we doing it? Why do we have to go that route? Because everybody's asking me, what are you going to do? What are you going to do about rents? Are you going to control rent? And I'm saying no, but I would be fiscally responsible so that maybe I don't have to increase taxes on the owner of the house, so that he doesn't have to increase the rent on the people, on the tenants.
A lot of people in Lawrence don't, because most, I would say, and I'm just guessing that most Lawrence voters were not born here, right? I would imagine that most Lawrence voters are from another country right now. And I think a lot of them don't really understand the difference in the functions of government here than in the countries that they came from. So they're asking a mayor, what are you going to do about rents, when the mayor has literally no control over any of that. But like you said, there are some things you can do to help. But even if you don't raise the income tax, the property tax on the homeowners, they can still go up on their rents if they want. So,
sure, it's their choice. I mean, think about it, right? So the real estate right now, the houses, homes are so expensive. So no one's really going to spend $1 million in a building to then come and say, well, I got to keep them low for Tom or for Manny. they're probably going to set a rent that's going to compensate for whatever they spent because they want to live better than you. Some tenants think, well, I'm paying too much. Yeah, and the other guy is saying, I bought the house. I want to be able to live in it, especially for the homeowner occupied. They don't want to see that you're getting away with it. And I'm saying, when I own my house on Bennington Street, somebody says, why are you charging me $500? You only pay $600 in mortgage. And I said, well, so people get into this personal thing. I never raise my rent more than.
Well, what people don't understand, too, you have to pay property tax, water bills,
Exactly.
Repairs, the roof blows off, you have a problem with the boiler, that's all on you.
But I want to touch up on what you said. I think that the tide has turned in terms of we have a lot of young Latinos, let's say, which is the majority of the people in Lawrence, right, on the Latino side. There's a lot of young Latinos that believe about government here. A lot of them were born here or came here very young, so they see things different than somebody who just came being an older person. The older person still has those values from back home. I left Mount Abu, Puerto Rico in 1982, so I don't want to turn Lawrence into Mount Abu, Puerto Rico. I actually came to Lawrence looking for better life. I believe I found it. I'm very thankful for everything that I have, that I work for. Nothing was really handed out to me. I work hard for what I have. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of my family and my friends. I have amazing friends. I really care deeply about Lawrence. And I really, when I said I'm going to go for it, I don't want to retire and be unhappy how things are going. I believe I can do better. I tried in 2013, and it didn't pan out. People chose, there was the big boys running in that Rivera, Antigua, Devers.
That damn Dan Rivera. You would have done a much better job. I like Dan, but you would have done a much better job than Dan.
It was my intentions. And remember, we went to your podcast. We actually did a debate.
On my
Tommy
podcast.
was getting us to fight.
Yes.
And he's like, come on, you guys are too nice to each other. and obviously, that wasn't the intention of it. It was four of us.
It was you, Marcos, Dan,
and James Patrick O'Donoghue.
James O'Donoghue, right.
Yeah. And we're trying to get one of us trying to move on against Willie. So we know that we're going to need the other guys, whoever moves on. So we were just stating why you're running and stuff like that. And I want to do the same thing. And I care about the city. I care about the safety. I've been protecting Lawrence for over 30 years. I served 3 years in the Lawrence Auxiliary Police and 29 years on the fire department.
And not just on the fire department, but after the fire is out, after you've gone into a burning building and you've tried to put out the burning building and save the people in the building, 3 days later when the Red Cross screws out of town and doesn't tell anybody that they're not helping them get – a lot of fire victims think when the Red Cross puts them up in a motel or a hotel or temporary housing that they're actually looking for some place for them to be after they leave the hotel. And then the Red Cross screws out of town and says, no, we're not doing that. You guys pick it. You and Wayne Hayes, even though he's a left-wing crazy, but I love the guy anyway. You and Wayne Hayes started Heal Lawrence in order to pick up where the Red Cross falls off and say, we want to be able to help find these people temporary or permanent housing. Do they need a new couch? Maybe their couch is fine, but they need clothes. You've started like a wedding registry online so people who want to donate can see exactly what that family needs and they can fulfill that exact need. That's a huge thing that you've done. Like, even if you don't win mayor and even if you just retire and spend the rest of your days with your grandkids, that's an incredible accomplishment for a community. For you to do
I thank you for that. And I also thank the people that actually rally behind Heal Lawrence because, as you just said, Tom, it's Wayne Hayes and Kathy, his wife, and my wife and I. But it's the people that are interested in helping Heal Lawrence. And it's been 15 years. It's been a lot of fun. Chasing fire victims, learning about the headaches, the trauma that they go through, and just to let them know, tap them on the shoulders to say, you're not alone, we're here for you. And just when they thought that everything was over for them, they're like, wow, this person who we don't know is here. So to me, as mayor, I would continue to support programs like Heal Lawrence and make sure that they live on forever and that somebody takes it over from Wayne and I and that they can grow it. And I hope that we find storage and that where we can house furniture. We built some beautiful partnership with Project Home Again, Debbie's Treasure Chest. So now
Debbie's Treasure Chest is great.
So now we just refer people. GLCAC is our fiscal agent, so my hands are clean. I don't have to deal with money. It's all volunteer work. It feels good. It's something that I've done naturally for a long time. My mother gave me some beautiful values. She was always out there helping the needy. So to me, it comes easy. So Heal Lawrence is a big part of who Manny Gonzalez is. But just a person in the community, a public servant. So I have a great deal of respect for humanity, for people in general. As an independent candidate, I get along with both sides. That helps tremendously. I have my own views like everybody else. I try to get along with everybody, and I see it. And you guys know I have friends on this side and on this side, and sometimes they're going at it. But I got to navigate those, navigate that turbulence. And
I've never had the crap kicked out of me more than your supporters during this election.
Yeah, same.
I've never in
Jesus.
my now, and people say like, the Brian DePina supporters, they're all out of control. If you go back on every single post that I've shared from your page, because every time I share something from your page, I try to go to Brian's and share something from his so it's equal, because I'm trying to stay out of it, right? I'm trying not to tip the scale, because I love both of you, and I think Lawrence wins no matter who wins, right? But every time I share something from your page about a cleanup that you're doing or someplace that you're appearing or just a picture of you outside City Hall, I never get not once, have a comment from a Brian DePina supporter attacking you. But every single time I post something from the mayor's page, your supporters come on and attack the living crap out of him. And it's one thing to attack him because they don't like his politics and don't agree with his policies. But he's a crook, he's stealing money, he's building a casino in the Dominican and he's using city money to do it. He's putting up illegal billboards. The FBI is going to arrest him tomorrow. Or some of the other ones. I could just go on and on and on. And I wonder how that happens because you're such a non-confrontational, positive person. You're a good, decent, honest, God-fearing person who has not gone negative yourself. Like you've disagreed with his policies, but I don't think you've gone negative against him at all. So I wonder, where does this undercurrent from the people supporting you come from, and have you tried to curb that?
I truly believe that people in Lawrence are very passionate about politics, and people have tried to get me into get down and dirty, punch him back every time he punches you, because I had spoken against his administration and what they're doing, but I have never turned it against him personally, calling him out for whatever he did in the past or whatever not.
Do you believe he's a crook?
I can't say that. To me, especially as a private investigator, you know that I'm very smart when it comes to stuff that I don't accuse people of something that I cannot prove. There's plenty of people out there that know this person better than I do. And if they're speaking on something that they know and I have no knowledge about it, I would be wrong also to say, hey, stop saying that about them, because they might be right. I just don't know it. So I don't do it.
What I'm trying to get is I'm trying to divorce you from the crazy people that support you, because there's a lot of people that you can't control who supports you, right? I run for office. You can't control the people that like you and want you to win, right? And so I'm trying to divorce you as a good, decent person from the people that are making the crazy allegations by saying, do you think he's a crook? Do you think he's a thief? Because if the answer is no, then that sends a signal to all those other people to knock the crap off with a few days left in the campaign.
Right. No. So I really want to focus on my campaign, and it's only 5 days left, 4.5, and truly we have passionate people on both sides, and they go at it every day, and so I am not going to call my supporters crazy. I call them passionate. They're very dedicated, and that there is people that
call them crazy.
There is people that. You feel how you feel about them. They feel how they feel about you. I try to conduct myself civil at all times. I truly believe that we have some people in the city of Lawrence on both sides that want what's best for the city. They act how they act based on what they believe they know. A lot of the stuff that they know, I don't, Tom. And so I cannot judge these people. There is a guy named Omar Guzman who's been asking me to distance myself from cyber criminals. I would never refer to anybody as a cyber criminal unless I can actually have evidence that somebody is committing a crime to call you such a thing. So I said no. So I don't have any time for him. First of all, because this person took offense thinking that I said that he shouldn't charge $5.60 an hour to do videos and stuff. No, you can charge whatever you want. I'm just saying that I, as a mayor, would not do that. I would look out for for the people, for the taxpayers' best interest, and try to find somebody that maybe do it for $150, $200, $250, but I would not pay $5.60. But no, so if it's listening, this is nothing personal against you, but I am not going to be joining you on calling people cyber criminals, because I don't do that. As a private investigator, I learned that when you cross that line and you break the law, that's how sometimes municipalities end up with lawsuits on their backs, and then the taxpayers got to pay it. So I would be more responsible.
And I think what the people who support the mayor are saying, and I understand what they're saying, is that the city of Lawrence has. Is it 30? How much? What is the city budget? 300 million, right? 330 million.
Oh, no, it's all fun. It's 300 plus. It's just the school department.
300 million. Okay, so let's say 400 million as a conservative estimate. It doesn't include grants, and they're complaining about $500. They're complaining about $5,000. They're complaining about a billboard that costs $400. And I think what the administration is saying, and I'm not trying to take sides, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate, is we spend $400 million and they're complaining about a video guy that made $5,000. Like, really?
I know companies that charge $2,000 per hour.
Sure.
I used to contract that I had to.
They complain about the ads in the Valley Patriot. The city, maybe I'm going to lowball it off the top of my head. I'm going to highball it off the top of my head. Maybe the city spends about $9,000 a year on advertising in the Valley Patriot compared to a $400 million budget. But I think this is the problem that Mr. Guzman has is he performs a service for the city and then he gets painted as a bad guy for doing business with the city. Who wants to do business with the city when that's the price?
I just think that the NBA too.
I just think that for somebody who received an Emmy Award, he should conduct himself more professional, especially when you leave messages recorded that you cannot hide away from how you just spoke to a lady or anybody in general, how he is.
I'll speak to a lady that way if she speaks to me that way.
No, but so that's the problem. He is just basically leaving messages because he's mad. So he leaves messages for me and stuff about, hey, why are you running away? Why are you hiding? You cannot be the mayor. And I said, I'm not going to address this guy because
He's angry.
He gets so angry that he loses it. So for Omar Guzman,
I think if somebody was attacking my credibility and my business publicly because I'm doing business with a municipality, like think about all the vendors that do business with Lawrence, and they see that and they go, well, then why would anyone want to do business with? That's a bad look for the city.
So accusing
is
a two-way street because if he's the one coming after me, I don't know this guy. So if he's the one coming after me, you have to distance yourself. You have to do this. You have to do that. You're coming after me. I actually told you I have no time for you. I have a campaign to run. I got to get to the voters. I don't have time to be addressing Omar Guzman. I actually spend more time right now talking about him than I wanted to because I really got to tell people that they have to come out. And when I leave here, I got to continue to knock on doors because I'm the underdog. I'm going against the machine, the establishment, all the endorsements.
So let's talk some politics because we don't have a lot of time left. Unfortunately, we ate up a lot of time with me yelling at DJ or DJ yelling at me, however you want to look at it. There's a lot of things that you're going to have to look at when you become mayor that you may have to change. So let's go through some of them. The police department. It's being said, although I don't agree with it, but you might, it's being said that the police department's out of control. I know that the police chief, being a new chief, has had some very serious missteps at the beginning, but I also have faith that he's going to come into his own. What do you think about the police department in general? Do you see it as something you can work with? You're going to have to change things? Are you looking for a change in leadership? What do you think overall of the police?
I'm looking forward to working with the police department. I know that I can get along with the union patrolmen and superior officers, and I know that Maurice Aguilar, you give him the chance to do the job, he is going to do a good job as chief. I truly believe that.
I have hope for him. I mean, I know he stumbled, and he's still stumbling a little bit, but I still have hope for him.
I mean, it's tough.
I know what kind of human being he is, and I think
it's tough when you have a in which you are non-civil service protection, right? So, you also feel the pressure that the guy at City Hall. Is he getting
pressure from Brian? Is that what you're?
No, I'm saying when you're a civil service, it's almost like you got to walk the fine line. Where do I lean? I remember my fire chief at the time, Brian Murphy, when Will and
Who was awesome, by the way.
So he actually went down fighting for his man. So you almost got to take the middle and say, I got to play ball with the mayor. I got to play ball with my membership.
He was fired. He was fired for being a whistleblower.
So what I'm saying is that it's not easy being a fire chief or a police chief right now. But I'm looking forward to working with Mauricio, and I think he's doing a great job so far. Honestly, whatever people say, I work with this men and women, and I know that's a lot of good men and women in this department. And like anything, whether it's the fire department, the police, we all can grow.
But you're candy coating it. There's a lot of controversy going on in the police department you're going to have to address. Just this week, one of the police officers that I don't think actually did anything wrong was federally indicted on civil rights charges. You've got a couple of other police officers that are in trouble. You've got a police is somehow a sergeant now or a lieutenant. I don't know, but I know that Poster's looking at him for that video of him knocking that lady on the ground. You've got some serious issues that are going on in the police department, and they're certainly going after TMF. They've got to knock that off because I'd love to have a great relationship with them, but as long as they're doing that, that's going to be an issue. They're doing the work of the angels, and you're going to have to run that. You're going to have to deal with the day-to-day issues of that police department, and I love police officers. Everyone knows. My dad was killed in the line of duty. I would never once ever do anything to put their safety in jeopardy, and I always give the cop the benefit of the doubt when there's an accusation because I know how hard their job is. But there's still a lot of issues going on over there so you're going to have to deal with.
So there's issues throughout the country, throughout cities. Right now we have to focus. My job will be focused on Lawrence, what is going on. The fire department seems to be stable. We got some work to be done with the fire station, with the infrastructure. The police department, we have Mauricio there. We got to get together. We got to find a way to hire more police officers, how to retain them so they don't keep leaving to my brother DJ Beauregard's city of Methuen that pays a little bit more than us.
But I'm trying to give you an opportunity because the current mayor is in charge of what's going on now. And I'm trying to give you an opportunity to distinguish yourself as to how you would handle the police department differently than Brian. And maybe the answer is that you won't. Maybe the answer is you're going to you're going to steer the ship.
I will. But the first thing I'm
trying to give the people at home, because when I ask, it's like I like this one, I like that one, and we're wasting a lot of time on the platitudes. But I think people at home are looking for some decisive answers.
No, I think that the first thing that you got to do is basically put the qualified people to lead the departments that you have. Right now we're talking about the police department, so make sure that you have a qualified chief. I truly believe that Maurice Aguilar is qualified, and then you got to deal with the issues. Whatever lawsuits are pending, whatever cases are pending, let's deal with it. I'm not just going because I'm a public safety officer just say, no, sugar-coated. I was taking a test the other day on the radio. It says, you're not going to be able to deal with the fire department contract because you're a firefighter. And I said, you forgot to ask me if I was going to retire. Because if I retire and I'm no longer a firefighter, then what's the conflict? So I understand that there's a lot of municipal unions that you got to deal with. So you're not just going to take care of the fire department and forget about the police department because they're always looking to see one is doing versus the other. So there is a lot of municipal unions that I respect and that I know that I'm going to be able to bring them on the table and negotiate with dignity and respect.
Big issue on the police department. I'm not going to say it that way.
The radio.
Big issue on the police department is the police scanner is encrypted. We now have a secret police department in Lawrence where they have video cameras in neighborhoods that are so powerful that you can zoom into somebody's window and read their mail on their coffee table. And I've watched that happen. At the same time that they're spying on us, we can't, as their overseers, as their bosses, the taxpayers, can't monitor what they're doing. And I'm not talking about undercover operations. I'm not talking about kidnappings where they have to go to an encrypted channel that's always existed. I'm talking about the city went dark, and people always used to be able to listen to the scanner, and the value of that is immense. It gives the press an opportunity to report on what's going on without the filter of government. Right now, the police department reports on themselves. Right now, we get, and I don't get them anymore since Tommy Cuddy died, but right now, when a shooting happens in Lawrence, we have to rely on the police department to issue a press release to tell us that a shooting happened. Whereas before, we had transparency. And when I used to ride around through the city, someone would come on, I'd hear the scanner, and someone would say, shots fired on Brook Street. And I'd head over to Brook Street, and then they'd say, oh, no, car 424, it's not shots fired, it's kids with fireworks. Well, the people in that neighborhood who are listening to the scanner know, well, there's no shooting outside, now I can go out. Or maybe there is a shooting outside, maybe I should stay in until the police get done with it. Now we have no ability, no transparency at all, none. And every politician runs on the idea of transparency. I'm giving you an opportunity
I'm here
to be more transparency.
Transparency, integrity, and respect. But I also see the flip of what you're saying, because here's Tommy Duggan, who might be responsible, listening to a call. He dashes over there to cover it. But there was also people that are using the fact that they're able to listen to what's going on, that they know already when the police is being dispatched, and they split. Or they lower the music because they know the police is coming, and then when the police leave, they'll put it back on.
But that's why there's an encrypted channel. There's always been an encrypted channel for those issues.
So I understand that, but I think that is what I'm saying, the flip to being encrypted. I think the safety of our residents, if that's what they did the study and they came up with that, and they feel that that's what's safer to conduct their jobs to their abilities.
So we should give up our rights for safety. Didn't Benjamin Franklin have a quote about that? Not to give up our rights for safety? because my father was killed in the line of duty. I don't believe in doing anything that's going to put a cop's life in jeopardy. However, you're doing a public job on behalf of the public. And at a time where we're being told after George Floyd that there are cops out there gunning down young black and brown men for fun, that's what we're told on CNN every day by the Democrat Party. At the same time, you have Democrat communities all over Massachusetts going dark in their police scanner. If they have to go to a party and people are turning the music down because they hear the call on the scanner, they can go to an encrypted channel the next time they get a complaint. If there's a situation with a kidnapping, if there's an undercover situation, you can go. But how about domestic calls? How about accidents? How about drunk drivings? How about all of the other regular calls? It's on a 5-minute delay in Methuen. It's on a 5-minute delay in Andover. Boston had a marathon blow up. They had literal terrorists. And Boston did not encrypt their scanner. They're on a delay, so the criminals don't know exactly where they are at all at the same time. But it seems as though we're using public safety as an excuse to not have transparency while we're pretending to have transparency.
So let me be transparent. As mayor, I would definitely have a great communication with the police chief, and we will find ways to make sure that we provide reports to the media and that we do the job to the best of their ability to keep our people safe.
But I don't want the cops reporting on themselves.
That you want them? The what?
I don't want the cops reporting on themselves, because I would go to a scene and I would report what happened at the scene. Then I'd get a press release from the police department about what happened at the scene. And there was a lot of details missing. And there was a lot of things that were worded in a way. You saw with DJ Beauregard, the way he's wording things to lead it to look one way when it's really the other way. That's why you have to have independent reporters in the public to be able to oversee their police. I mean, we have your answer. I don't want to prolong it. But
no, I truly believe that you have to, as chief, as the mayor, you have to deal with the police chief, and we can do better. Let's sit down with the leaders of the unions and what's going on.
Why should they have a say? They work for us. They don't make laws. They enforce laws.
No, I understand. But the media, if it's up to the media, I mean, we're not even allowed to do our jobs on the street because everybody that heard about it, now they're interfering and says, I can record, I can be on top of you. And I said, listen, can you guys back up so we can take care of this patient with dignity and respect?
I'm all for the 6 feet, 60 feet rule or a 30 feet rule.
There's people that just want to be on top of that. And then if you say, well, you're interfering with the operation, we just want to take care of this patient. But I truly believe that I would be a mayor that's going to be open door policy. Come on the table. Let's talk about it. Whether it's the police, the fire department, DPW, the ambulance, EMS at one point. I don't think this mayor ever sat down with the fire chief and Lawrence General to find out why there was a problem with the delay on the ambulance services. And it wasn't just because Lawrence General was being negligent. It was because people were just leaving. They didn't want to work, and they were having a hard time staffing. But now, hey, they picked it up. They have some subcontractors here. It's flowing better. But if you keep track of that, as mayor, Lawrence General, fire chief, what's going on? The people are complaining that the ambulance is taking long or that the fire truck is taking long, whatever it is. And let's make it better. There's always room for growth here, and we can do that. But so communication is going to be a lot better for me because I think that I'm a better communicator than the guy that we have now. I don't shy away from a good a good task, a good challenge, difficult decisions. I've been making them for the last 30 plus years. So I truly believe that what I got to do is continue to get to the voters, let them know that I'm here, that I'm just a public servant, somebody different, fresh alternative, somebody who really deeply cares about Lawrence, and that I'm not going anywhere. I'm not building anything, any place. Colonial Heights is my home. I invite you for trick or treat.
You're in Colonial Heights?
I live in Colonial Heights.
For some reason, I thought you were in Mount Vernon.
No. I was labeled Mount Vernon kid since 20 years ago.
Really?
And in 2013, they said, oh, you're that kid from Mount Vernon. I said, you know where I live? 5 Bennington Street, where the shootings, the noise, the loud music, the floods.
Neighborhood.
And then they said,
Bennington Street?
I own Bennington Street for 23 years.
Is the one-way street?
I can't cover my fat belly no matter what I do with the state.
So what the voters what I'm asking the voters is to please come out and vote on November 4th. We still got another day of early voting tomorrow. We are going to win because I feel that even though the other side has the establishment, I got the heart of the people, and that's what's going to carry me to the finish line. We are going to have a new administration.
Real quick, because we didn't get a chance to touch on the schools and a few other things. Real quick, because we don't have a lot of time. The schools. The mayor is trying to regain control of the schools from the state. How would you handle the school situation?
I'm going to keep that very simple. I'm going to see what happens here with the 3 elected. I'm wishing very good luck. The person who endorsed me publicly, Jonathan Guzman.
I love Jonathan Guzman.
One of the 3 people running for school committee at large, obviously. So there's 3 that are running for that. Let's get those 3 people elected, and then we have to find mayor-elect, right? We got to pick 3.
Wait, we have a candidate in that race. What's his name?
Luis Robles.
Say it again.
Luis Robles.
That's so sexy. It's ridiculous.
So Tommy, we got to put at least the school committee fully staff it, right?
Should Lawrence regain control?
So it's funny that you asked that because somebody said yesterday, are we ready for it? Even if we establish
I'm not sure they are either, but I think they could do a better job than the state.
So I actually wanted a fully elected board. I want all 6 of them to be elected.
At large?
Elected and not.
At large?
You
say at large, you get a lot of points.
I was okay with districts as well. You know what I mean? It's what the people want. I want the people to have the power to elect who they want to be led by. The same way they elected me, I want them to have the say. So I would be in favor of it. And if we have to look into it and maybe put it back on the ballot and maybe look into another it's on my palm card. Maybe look into another home rule petition.
Do you agree with DJ about allowing kids to read passages about anal sex and masturbation and reading the N-word out loud in a high school classroom with a white teacher and white kids?
I'm going to say this. I don't agree with that. And what I really would like to do is just...
That's the right answer. That's the answer that DJ should have given.
Listen.
By the way, Miss Ladina Dykes, campaign manager. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, buddy. It needed to be said.
Listen. Listen, what we need is more outreach, and DJ was right in that. I think that parents got to get involved, and especially in my community, in Lawrence, we have to make a bigger effort to know who your kids' teachers are, get involved. I know we are living some busy times in which people are working 2 and 3 jobs, but it's their education, there are children. We have to know. As somebody who's married to an educator.
We're way over time. We covered police. We covered the schools. Fire, we know you like the new chief. The new chief is doing an okay job.
He's doing an okay job. It
okay.
seems that things are going well. So let's hope that it continues.
Yes was the right answer. DPW. I know that Jorge Jaime is a little political because he's friends with the mayor. Seems like he's doing a good job though. What do you think about DPW?
A lot of hate.
He gets hate because he's friends with the mayor. Just like there are a lot of people who are friends. Like Frank Cirillo got hired by the mayor. The mayor doesn't even really like him, but the mayor hired him, and he's getting a lot of crap. But what do you think about Jorge Jaime? He seems to be doing okay.
I think that a lot more could be done. I think Jorge is very political. I like him as a guy. I think he's a good dude. I think he's a good guy, but I think he's really, really political. And on a job like that, I think you just got to stick to doing what's best for the city, do their job that we have. I would hire people best qualified for the position, so you don't have to keep hiring assistants after assistants after assistants. If you put unqualified people in different departments, it's when you're going to have to keep hiring.
Your chief of staff is going to be who? If you win, if you win on Tuesday, you're going to have to hit the ground running. You're going to need somebody to be your chief of staff that's going to run your office. And we saw the blunders that the current mayor made when he started with Frank Bonet, and then he had a couple of other people before he finally got at least the person that fits with him. Who's your chief of staff if you win Tuesday?
Let me win first. I have to stay focused. I have to stay focused.
I already know. I've already been told, so you might as well say it out loud.
No. I truly believe that people believe that people are painting me as somebody. This is them trying to get in through Manny, and that's sometimes I take that a little bit personal because I said I'm a man of my own. I think I can stand on my feet and make my decisions, and if anybody thinks They try to say that the same thing. You're trying to, in 2013, you're trying to get Mike Sullivan in office. Now it's like, you're trying to get Candace or Dan or whoever. No, it's Manny Gonzalez, Juan Manny Gonzalez running for mayor of Lawrence, and it's not about trying to get anybody else back here. We would put together an administration, Tommy, that is going to reflect and represent the entire city of Lawrence. If you guys are going to be proud of the administration that we put together. If you lose on Tuesday, I'm not going to lose. If you lose on Tuesday, will you accept the results of the election since the state is coming in to oversee it? We'll see what the results are, and if there's no glitches and stuff like that, I'm not a sore loser. You saw what I did in 2013. I walked across the street, I shook Dan Rivera's hand, and I said, congratulations, let's get to work. So if everything looks fine and there's no investigations, nothing funny, no funky business, then I would just honor it. I'm at peace with my heart. I'm ready to go. I'm leaving it all on the streets. I'm at the doors with the people.
If people want to support your campaign, how do they get in touch with you?
So they get in touch with me with going to mannyforlawrence.com. MannyForLawrence.com. You can also call the number 978.
Is it Manny the number 4 or F-O-U-R? I mean F-O-R.
F-O-R.
It's F-O-R.
MannyForLawrence.com. I think that if you go there, you can help us directly. The phone numbers are there as well. Emails are there, so you can do that. A lot of people know my personal number, but I'm not asking you to just use my personal number. People can go to the website, contact me through MannyForLawrence.com. There is also a number that is 978-620-6863.
Regardless of what happens, will you come back on the show at maybe not the next week after the election, but maybe 2 weeks after the election? Will you come back on to at least talk about the election? If you won, we certainly want you to be on a regular basis to talk about what's going on in Lawrence. But even if you don't win, will you at least agree to come back on one more time to talk about this whole process? Because I've found once people aren't a candidate anymore, if they lose an election, they're a lot more free about what they say out loud. And we want to hear all the backstories.
No, I would definitely be back, and I'm looking at the camera just like I did when you asked me if I would debate, if I go to your podcast, if I go to the bash. I will come back, and you know what I would do different as well, Tom? That I would find different channels, different ways to communicate with the entire city, not just in Spanish, English and Spanish, and whatever else I can learn from here until.
He's a Officer Tom Duggan Hero Public Safety Award winner from our 2013 bash. 2013?
Long time ago.
From my 2013 bash, believe it or not, I can't believe I remembered that. And he's a hero firefighter, and he is running for the mayor of to be mayor of the city of Lawrence. He's looking for your vote. Before we go, we do have to go, but before we go, let's bring up, because I did promise the midget that I was going to. What is it? What is it? Why
you keep calling
these people are
that?
so triggered. They're so brainwashed. They're so triggered. He said midget. He loves it when I call him the midget. He loves it. He thinks it's hilarious. Let's pull up who the Laborers Union Local 175 president, Mike Gagliardi, has endorsed candidates in all of these races. Here's the Lawrence campaign race. And I'm bringing this up because before we let Manny go, I know you made a comment off the air with this. But first, let's read through this. The endorsements are Lawrence Mayor Brian DePina, Giovanni Rodriguez, at-large city councilor, Selena Reyes and Anna Levy for at-large city council. In the District A race, Franklin Miguel. In the District B race, this one surprised me, Rosalie Gonzalez, because Wendy Luzon is very pro-union, so that one did surprise me. Gregory Del Rosario, say it.
Gregory del Rosario.
So friggin' sexy, it's ridiculous. Vivian Marmo, who still has yet to reach out to me, and my adopted daughter, Stephanie Infante, in District E. And for school committee, this was a little weird for me because I endorsed Luis Robles right out of the gate, and Mike did not run this by me when he put this list together. Jonathan Guzman, who is my very good friend, Jonathan Guzman. I was at his fundraiser last week. I saw you at his fundraiser last week at Mama Juana's, which, by the way, best paella in the Merrimack Valley. By far.
But not the best girls, though.
No, for sure not. But Blue, I think, has the best girls. Yeah. Blue Lounge. But the best paella anywhere. Jonathan Guzman, Jessica Ramirez. And Quinn Gannell is who he endorsed. I endorsed Luis Robles.
I don't know if it matters, but I'm for Luis Robles.
And we bring this up because there's a quote on here that everybody's talking about, and this is from Mike Gagliardi, president of the Laborers Union, Local 175. Dominicans must come together to elect a Dominican leadership for the city of Lawrence. And it also says at the bottom, this is another one that he certainly didn't get it approved by me. We are demanding that all successful city councilors re-elect at-large councilor Giovanni Rodriguez as the council president over the next 2 years to continue the stellar leadership he has provided to the city of Lawrence over the last 2 years. Do you have anything very quick to say about what
Yes, I would have a
you?
different quote. I would say Laurentians come together to elect the best leadership for the city of Lawrence. Laurentians, not Dominicans.
Okay, all right.
The Dominican community loves me anyways. They love me more than they love the current mayor, so I'm okay with that.
Well, I guess we're going to see you on Tuesday, aren't we?
Jonathan's not Dominican.
Half and half.
Jonathan's
He's half
not
and half?
Dominican?
Oh, he's half and half.
Yeah, he's Dan Rivera.
But he endorsed me, so he's a cool guy.
So I
it's
agree with
definitely-
everybody on this list with a few exceptions. So I am endorsing Giovanni Rodriguez. I am also endorsing Selena Reyes and Anna Levy. In District A, I have not endorsed anybody because I'm absolutely in love with Lizzie, especially the way she says her name. Do you ever hear Lizzie introduce herself?
She's a radio
She says,
personality.
I am,
She has a nice
I am
voice.
Lizzie Lee fan. I can't even do it. Lizzie. I
My
can't
cousin
even do
Lisa,
it.
she's watching.
She's amazingly beautiful, and she's such a nice person. She's so sweet. I just learned recently that she's married, which made me lose sleep at least 2 nights in a row. So I haven't endorsed anybody in A. I have not endorsed anybody in B.
Okay.
I really wanted to endorse Wendy Luzon. I really wanted to endorse her. But the hate for Brian DePena and the way she has behaved.
I wish you just talk about her
And also
district.
the fact that she gave a free pass to Fidelina Santiago, who literally stole her council seat and committed voter fraud, and she praised her. She praised her. So I'm not going to hurt her by endorsing her opponent, but I absolutely cannot support Wendy Luzon this year. And if she wins, she's got 2 more years to win me back. In District C, I'm endorsing Gregory
Gregory del Rosario.
Del Rosario. In District D, I'm also with Vivian Marmol. And in District E, she's my adopted daughter. I can't not endorse Stephanie Infante. Let's go to the next one real quick. The time's not as bad as I thought it was. I thought we were way, way, way over. Labor's Union Local 175 proudly endorses. Now, we did collaborate on this. He asked me who my candidates were, and we kind of collaborated. So I don't think
you
this...
should say that, I think.
What's that?
I don't think you should say that.
No? All right. Okay, then I didn't do that.
That's like an off-the-record conversation.
Okay, all right. So, but see, here's the best part about my viewers. They won't tell anybody. My viewers are very loyal.
Oh, okay. Sure.
They love me. They're not going to say anything. Mike Gagliardi, Local 175. John Drew and Jana Zani Pesh. For at-large. He didn't endorse a third candidate. And I tried very hard to get him to endorse a third candidate. I asked him about Frank Cirillo. He said no. I asked him about Jim Sassioni. He said no. I asked him about Juan DeSantos, and I pushed Juan DeSantos pretty hard. And he said no. I asked for Ryan DeZoglio, and he really, 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 really hates Nick DeZoglio. And I said, but don't blame Ryan.
Wait, Nick? But he's running for school, isn't he?
Right. I said, don't blame Ryan for Nick, because they're two totally different people.
Got it.
And even though they're brothers and they collaborate on a lot of stuff, because they're brothers, Ryan is a very easy person to talk to. He doesn't manipulate every conversation. He doesn't try to convince you Dan Coe is not white when you're looking at him and he's white, right? But he wouldn't go. He wouldn't go for the third one. So you got two, Drew and Pesci at large. Pesh.
Ella.
East District, Ron Marsan and Nellie Soto. In the Central District, Ella McLaren, she's going to win. She's going to win because Sharon Pollard recruited her. She's a little 19 or 20-year-old redhead who checks all the boxes. She wants boys going in girls' bathrooms. She loves transgender everything. She's a Sharon Pollard acolyte, so she's going to win. And then there's the future Mrs. Duggan. Say it.
Janilda Santos.
Say it again.
Janilda Santos.
So it's not a Y, it's a J when you say it in Spanish.
Yes.
So it's Janilda Santos, the future Mrs. Duggan. And in the West End, my candidate, my girl, Patricia Valley, who please, please, please vote for Patricia Valley. So important. And then these are my 4 candidates for school committee. Kristen Maxwell, who really hopefully will get reelected. Ken Willett, hopefully also getting reelected. Sorry, I misspelled your name. Alejandro Baez, who's pulling in more endorsements than anybody I've ever. He's almost
better than Franklin McGill.
Nobody's that. Nobody's got that many. Nobody. The UN endorsed Franklin McGill and Maria Figueroa. Those are your city council and school committee candidates that were endorsed by Labor's Union Local 175. Labor's Union, Mike Gagliardi. So that's it. Please vote on Tuesday if you live in Lawrence, Lowell. Also, a shout out to Brandon Burns. He's Duncan Burns' son. He's a young kid. I think he's in his mid-20s. He's running for mayor of Haverhill. We tried to get the mayor of Haverhill to do a debate on this show. We got nowhere with that. It would have been nice. And, in fact, if she were to reach out to me this weekend, I would pay these guys overtime to come in over the weekend and do a debate with Brandon and her because I think the public deserves a debate. But since we're not getting one, I'm going to try and do a live interview with him over the weekend. Please vote, no matter who you vote for. Even if you hate every single candidate that I love, please go out and vote. I'm only going to ask one other thing of you if you're thinking of voting. If you're stupid, if you don't know what a city councilor does, if you don't understand the function of a mayor, please don't vote. That's all I'm going to ask. Please don't just go in and check anybody's name. Please be an informed voter. You've got 4 days, 5 days now where you can go online and you can research the candidates. You can research what does a mayor do in the city of Lawrence? What does the mayor do in the city of Methuen? What is the role of the city council? What is the role of the school committee? At least know what these people do before you vote. Research the candidates. Google everybody's name. But if you're not going to do that and you're not going to be informed, I'm going to beg you, please don't vote. We don't need stupid voters going in.
There's a lot of people that you
randomly
ask, who
checking.
should I vote for?
Right. Well, and here's the other thing that happens. People will go in and they want to vote for Juan Manny Gonzalez, but they don't care about school committee. They didn't pay attention to it. So they'll vote for Juan, and then they'll look down ballot, and they'll just, oh, well, that guy lives in my neighborhood. I'll vote for him. Or that guy's got the same last name as somebody.
There.
Right. Yeah, he's an incumbent. I'll vote for him. We don't want that. Please don't do that. Please don't be a stupid voter. If you're going to go in and vote for someone because you like that person, just vote for that person. Don't be checking other names. And if you really don't know anything about any of these candidates or what they do or what the role is that they're running for, please just stay home, make yourself more educated for the next time around, and then come back and vote. Thank you to Intern Girl. Thank you also to Juan Manny Gonzalez. I appreciate you being here, my friend. And I also appreciate, as much as I kicked the living crap out of him while he was here, DJ Beauregard. I'm 50-50 with the guy, as you could see. I have a real hard time with some of the issues, but also on the other 50%, stellar work. Some of the work he's doing is just amazing with the human trafficking and with his dealing with the fire department, his dealing with the police department, and then we go to the schools and it's total disaster. So he's going to win anyway, and so hopefully we're going to have a good relationship going forward, but we are going to have to address the fact that he broke his word. And that's all I asked. When he came back and said, can we be friends? Can we meld our repair our relationship? I only asked for one thing, and that's keep your word, and he didn't. So we are going to have to address that. But you know what? I give him a lot of credit because he knew he was going to get the crap kicked out of him coming in, and he came anyway. And so I do give him credit. And you guys should give him credit for that too, because there are politicians in this community who will not come on this show because they're afraid of me. They're afraid of the conflict. They're afraid of the controversy. They're afraid I'm going to call them out. DJ's not afraid to be called out. And so he deserves credit for that, for sure. I really wish Brian DePena had come today. I really wish he'd come to the debate. He called for the debate before the primary, and he didn't come, and he didn't come this time. And so if you want to know about the mayor of Lawrence, you're going to have to go online. You're going to have to research it yourself because he didn't come. All right, I guess we can roll that up. Thank you to Lenita Dykes, who manages both of these gentlemen. And not an easy job. We had Lenny Meres here, former state representative. We're going to have a conversation with him in a few minutes. He's going to help us on Election Day. We're doing a documentary together about voter fraud. So he's going to be, if you see him on Election Day in Lawrence and Methuen, he's going to be walking around with a camera getting us B-roll, which is like when someone's doing a documentary, it's the video that they show in the background while they're doing the voiceovers.
Oh, B-roll is usually like a backup of what you're recording.
Right.
Already.
Yeah.
Not like as a backstage.
It's
BTS
the video.
Is like behind the scenes.
It's like the video. It's like when you watch the news and they say, there was an oil spill in Alaska, and they show like an oil rig that looks like it's in Alaska, but sometimes it's not really even in Alaska. Mm-hmm. So it's that extra footage that the voiceover goes over.
Well, in my production class, they said.
Thank you for the debate. Thank you to all the at-large city councils for the debate. I know we're very much over. We're going to have to do something really nice for the people here. Yeah, you can roll up, Mel. Let's thank our sponsors. I got to make that a little longer, but I still love it, though. By the way, this is my favorite Melvin Taylor song. 100%, I love this song. Century 21 McLennan Real Estate, the Zanny Pesh Law Office. She makes great sauce. Marston & Son Construction, EIS, Investigation and Gun Training. By the way, that crazy book that's out about Joe Solomon, don't even bother wasting your money on that.
He wants to see the intern girl.
Oh yeah, intern girl Cam. Where's John Drew? There he is. Thank you to John Drew.
Oh, we don't have.
I wish we had done what happened to Mel?
It's not connected to
the I see. Go back to the John Drew Cam. We'll restart the. Manny's out the door already. Let's go back to the John Drew Cam. Thank you, John Drew. We didn't get a chance to do a lot of.
Go back.
Yeah, we didn't have a chance to do a lot of intern girl today. And I feel bad because he did sponsor it, but
I had like a couple questions, but it's okay. Next time.
yeah. Well, this was a very busy show.
It was.
It was
yeah.
crazy. I don't think I'm going to do 2 candidates again next time for 2 different things. But all right, let's go back and let's restart. Let's restart, Mel, and I'll do the sponsors. Century 21 McLennan Real Estate. There it is. Melvin Taylor, everybody. Zany Pesh Law Office, Martian and Sun Construction, EIS Investigation and Gun Training, Tomo and Shaken Seafood, Clear Path for Veterans New England. Let me see if future Mrs. Duggan is meeting us for sushi afterwards. Let's see.
She said, best podcast ever. She's listening.
Really? Oh, good. Prime Insurance, the Doug Mercurio Law Office, Enterprise Bank, which is now Rockland Trust, W3ON, 4-Star Lighting, Stadium Chiropractic, JG's Ice Cream, a free shout out. We also have Total Mortgage, and I don't know where this went. The
Notary on the go.
Yeah, what is it? Notary on the go. If you need a notary, please let Notary on the go. Ryan DeZoglia, Wanda Santos, John Drew with the intern girl cam, Luis Robles, Frank Cirillo, Labor Junior Local 175, Jana Zani Pesh, and James Sarcioni. Sounds like Melvin Taylor says we got to go home. So go home already and vote unless you're an idiot. If you're an idiot, don't vote. But vote on Tuesday if you're not.